Hello and welcome to a fresh new episode of Science Monitor, our weekly update on all that is happening in the field of science and technology in and around the country. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Did you know that half the oxygen breathed by living beings is produced in the oceans of the world? Well, if that is not reason enough to save the ocean, then what is? We will tell you all about ocean conservation on this show. But first, let's get you the headlines. First edition of the World Ocean Science Congress held in India. Conservationists discuss ways to protect ocean wealth. From Akash to Mangalyaan, India's scientific strength comes alive at the Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan and Expo. National Science Film Festival concludes in Lucknow. Much awaited Bever Awards announced. Cheaper aircraft fuels now a reality. New materials with extraordinary properties to make this possible. Mysteries of the brain unraveled. Scientists discover why we feel thirsty. And today in focus will be the need for vaccination. And now news in details. Oceans contain 97% of Earth's water. Okay, so that is common knowledge. But did you know that half the oxygen that we breathe is also generated by the oceans? Yes, oceans are not just a reservoir of animal protein. They perform various other functions to sustain life on this planet. But increasing industrialization of land coupled with commercialization of the ocean sector has put this precious resource in danger. The first ever World Ocean Science Congress pondered over ways to protect the world's oceans. The Congress was organized in Kochi last week. Let us get you the details of what transpired at this meet.
Oceans are our largest life-supporting system. From food, minerals, oil to life-saving medicines, oceans have them all. However, recent years have seen increasing commercialization of the ocean sector. This has led to collapse of major fisheries, displacement of fishermen communities and coastal belts, disappearance of large areas of mangrove forests, and loss of maritime cultures and traditions. Besides this, a deadly trio of global warming, declining oxygen levels, and acidification poses major threat to our oceans. Indiscriminate human activities has also led to pushing many commercial fish stocks towards the poles and the extinction of some marine species. So what can we do? Obviously, we can't decrease our dependency on the oceans. So how to preserve and use their resources without disrupting the environment? In order to address these questions, the first edition of the World Ocean Science Congress, or WOSC, was organized at the Jawaharlal Nehru International Stadium in Kochi, Kerala from the 5th to the 8th of February. The event was organized by the Swadeshi Science Movement, Vijnana Bharati Kerala chapter and the Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies. Upholding the slogans of Protect Oceans for Posterity and Blue Economy, the 4-day event was attended by oceanographers and environmentalists from around the world. The event comprised of 4 plenary sessions, 13 technical sessions, exhibitions, a roundtable on shipping and ocean resources, and also a national fishermen's meet. The prime focus of the discussions was the management of the Indian Ocean. Experts believe that the Indian Ocean is experiencing more undesirable changes than other oceans in terms of deoxygenation and population pressure.
The Indian Ocean is experiencing some of these changes more than other oceans, particularly the deoxygenation, because we already have here an environment which has low oxygen concentration to begin with. Okay, and there is also more population pressure because the countries surrounding the Indian Ocean are heavily populated. So there is more human pressure on the oceans in our region, and their oxygen concentrations are different. This is a very different kind of environment. So we are looking at the effect of human activities on the ecosystems, on biogeochemistry, and that's one of the important areas that we are working on.
The event also focused on the dangers and threats to maritime culture and coastal life. The event succeeded in bringing all the concerned parties on one platform to share and address most of the current issues, whether scientific or cultural. During the Congress, the participants realized the importance of sharing the information and urged the Union government to form a separate ministry for all the agencies and institutions working in the field of ocean and fisheries research.
While Kerala saw expert delegations talking about ocean sciences, another coastal state was alive with the displays of the country's military and technological might. Let us get you more details of what we are talking about.
Indigenous Akash and BrahMos missile, Arjun battle tank, 3D radars, models of the Indian Mars orbiter Mangalyaan, bomb disposal robots and PSLV-GSLV launch vehicles. They all form the exciting array of display at the recently held 4th Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan and Expo in Goa, sparking tremendous excitement among the students and other participants. Innovation is the solution to the major socio-economic issues the country faces today. And India, with its many scientific and technological breakthroughs, is on the path of addressing them. The idea came alive with the world witnessing the glorious examples of India's scientific strength at the 4th Bharatiya Vigyan Sammelan and Expo. The 4-day Science Expo in Goa, an initiative of the Goa state government, was organized during 5th to 8th February by Goa University along with Vijnana Bharati. The 4-day Science Expo in Goa, an initiative of the Goa state government, was organized during 5th to 8th February by the Goa University along with Vijnana Bharati. The expo themed Innovation in Science and Technology in Service of Mankind aimed to bring together renowned achievers in the field of science and technology and disseminate their achievements to the masses. The expo, with its workshops and seminars on various topics along with exhibitions of various technologies, attracted a large crowd of investors and buyers along with students. The exhibition included exhibits by India's Defence Research and Development Organization (DRDO), Indian Space Research Organization (ISRO), Council of Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR), Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR), and Research and Development, that is R&D departments of private organizations.
The curtains fell on the 5th National Science Film Festival in Lucknow. The festival drew a large number of enthusiastic science filmmakers and students from across the country. Popularly known as the Rashtriya Vigyan Chalchitra Mela, the event was a showcase of science in motion. But who took home the prestigious Bever Awards this year? Well, let's get you those winners.
The National Science Film Festival and Competition 2015, organized in Lucknow this year, concluded with the declaration of the much-awaited Beaver Awards under different categories. The 9 jury member, comprising of Sri Surya Mohan Kulshetra, artist and screenplay writer Atul Tiwari, and director of Vigyan Prasar, Dr. Gopi Chandra, Dr. Anil Rastogi, CM Nautiyal, Sarat Datta, Santosh K. Pandey, Ratan Mani Lal, Kamar Rahman, Lalita Vaidyanathan and Jayant Kishore Bator, and was headed by Dr. Chandra Prakash Dwivedi.
साइंटिफिक टेम्पर अपनाएं, रेशनैलिटी अपनाएं, चीज़ों को पहले जानें उसके बाद मानें. जो क्वेश्चनिंग की बात की मुजफ्फर अली साहब ने, और जो सोचें और साइंस को कम्युनिकेट करें, कुछ यही ऑब्जेक्टिव है इस साइंस फिल्म फेस्टिवल का, जो प्रमोट साइंटिफिक टेम्पर थ्रू साइंस फिल्म.
About 64 films on science, technology, environment and health screened at the festival competed for the Beaver Award. Films were judged under A, B, C, D and E categories, representing various themes for different target audiences. Golden Beaver Awards were given to Redemption, A Red Story from India, Come Enjoy the Nectar with the Elephants, A Journey Through Space and Time, and science behind miracles. The Golden Beaver Awards for the A, B and C category also carried a cash prize of Rs 1 lakh, while a cash prize of Rs 50,000 was for D and E category. The Silver Beavers were awarded to What Happens When We Sleep by Rajendra Kondapalli, Insects That Glow by Dr. Jitendra Singh, Flowing Forever by P.C. Anto, Ripen by Sandeep Pandurang Mani, and How Do I See, directed by Varsha Shankar and Shreya Mohan. The Silver Bear Awards under A, B and C categories carried a cash prize of Rs 50,000, while the cash prize was Rs 30,000 for D and E category. The Bronze Beaver Awards under A, B and C categories were awarded to the films Madhu Vas by B. Trikantachar, Birds of My Yard by M.N. Chikkamuniappa, Breeds of Wealth by G.S. Unnikrishnan. The Bronze Award under category D was jointly awarded to Human Island by Fazlul Fariza and Love Story of Two Electrons by Vivek Singh. The E category Bronze Award was presented to My Kitchen Science, directed by Apurva Shri and Shruti Kumar. 4 special awards were also declared for technical excellence in cinematography, editing, graphics, animation, and special effects and sound recording and design.
Ever heard of materials that can withstand high temperatures of up to 1500 degrees and also withstand corrosion? Well, welcome to the world of super alloys. As the name suggests, these extraordinary materials with their remarkable properties find usage in high-tech machineries like aircraft engines, jumbo jets, ships and submarines. Creating super alloys with previously unknown properties has been an area of extensive research for some time now. A breakthrough study by a team of Indian researchers has resulted in a novel super alloy that promises to revolutionize the aviation industry. Take a look.
Man realized his age-old dream to fly for the first time in 1903. Since then, aviation has been among mankind's largest and most successful industries. The industry's growth acquired further momentum with the discovery of superalloys. These extraordinary strong compounds can withstand temperatures as high as 1600 degrees centigrade. Also known as high-performance alloys, superalloys are used in making turbine engines for aircraft and jumbo jets. Across the world, the search is on for better superalloys, mainly because current ones are nickel-based superalloys that are coated with a special material to sustain temperatures up to 1600 degrees centigrade. The problem these alloys have is that they start to degrade when exposed to sulfur, which means for optimal operation, they need a higher grade fuel with lower sulfur content. Not only does this fuel come at a higher cost, but also poses significant challenges in terms of transportation and power generation. All that promises to change with a new and exciting discovery that researchers at the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore have made. Under the leadership of Professor Kamanyo Chattopadhyay, this team developed a superalloy that's based on cobalt. With a special internal architecture, this material allows aero engines to not only run on cheaper fuels, but to also exhibit higher resistance to temperatures and chemical degradation. Which means that the new material is not only as strong as nickel-based superalloys, but also doesn't degrade when exposed to sulfur. It retains its strength at high temperatures and resists corrosion even at extreme conditions that are encountered in an aero engine. All of which could completely revolutionize the aviation industry at a time when it is struggling with rising fuel prices.
Water is the essence of life. While organisms may survive without food for a few days, there cannot be any life without water. But how does the body know when to refill its water requirement? What triggers that feeling of thirst? Well, the search for an answer to these questions has been on for decades. But researchers may finally have found something. Let us now get you a report on this interesting area of study.
Brain is the master controller of the human body, but we know very little about its working as compared to our other organ systems. Scientists know that different areas of the brain control different actions, even though we do not have many details. One of the primal urges of living beings is thirst. Thirst is the body's way of signaling the need of the body to replenish water. Past experiments revealed that a part of the brain, the hypothalamus, is involved in the generation of thirst. Subsequent work has provided clues about the specific parts of the hypothalamus that could be responsible for producing the sensation. Now, an interesting study by Dr. Charles Zucker of Columbia University has resulted in the discovery of the exact brain circuit that governs thirst. Scientists using mouse models have demonstrated that thirst is controlled by two separate sets of nerve cells in a part of the hypothalamus. While one group of nerve cells drive animals to drink water, the other set quenches that urge. The experiment that proved this was very interesting. The scientists induced the two sets of nerve cells in mice to produce a light-sensitive protein. The nerve cells could then be stimulated by shining blue light from a laser. A video shot by the scientists showed a dramatic change in the behavior of the mice when the excitatory nerve cells were activated with the light. A mouse started drinking water as soon as the light was switched on and stopped drinking when it was switched off. Scientists observed that under laser stimulation, even mice that had already consumed a lot of water eagerly drank more, while laser stimulation of the inhibitory neurons stopped even the thirsty animals from consuming water. The results of the study have been published in the journal Nature. This research could be a step towards unraveling the many mysteries of the human brain.
And now it's time to take a short break here. We'll be right back. Keep watching Science Monitor. Welcome back after the break. You're watching Science Monitor. Let us now have a look at some important science and technology activities happening in India and abroad in our next segment, Science Express.
In order to create awareness regarding the conservation of one-horned Indian rhinoceros, Royal Enfield and a Club Rhino Riders on 8th February organize a bike rally in Guwahati. The rally saw the participation of 50 motorcyclists who rode through the streets wearing t-shirts with messages "Rhino will live" and waved flags. The aim of the rally was to create awareness about the endangered one-horned rhinoceros typical to the region of the country. Robert Langer, an internationally acclaimed inventor and engineer with over 1,000 issued and pending patents and 1,300 published articles, has been awarded the Queen Elizabeth Prize for Engineering. The QE Prize is known as the Nobel for Engineering. The prize, worth £1 million, is given to engineers for groundbreaking innovation that has been of global benefit to humanity. Robert Langer has been given this award for his pioneering work on designing and developing controlled drug delivery systems. The Visitors Award for Central Universities in the categories of Best University, Innovation and Research was presented by the President of India at the Rashtrapati Bhavan on 4th February. The University of Hyderabad received the Best University Award for Academic Excellence and Overall Outstanding Work. Innovation Award was presented to Professor Vijay K. Chaudhary and Dr. Amita Gupta of the University of Delhi for their invention of TB Confirm, a rapid diagnostic test for tuberculosis. The Research Award was received by Cosmology and Astrophysics Research Group, Center for Theoretical Physics, Jamia Millia Islamia for their path-breaking research carried out in the field of astrophysics and cosmology. The research group comprises of Jamia Millia Islamia faculty, Professor M. Shami, Professor Sushant G. Ghosh, Professor Sanjay Jhingam, and Professor Anjan Ananda Sen. A team of researchers from Northwestern University have found alternate use of discarded Blu-ray discs. According to these scientists, Blu-ray discs with a pattern of information on them have improved light absorption across the solar spectrum. Hence, they can be used to boost solar cell performance. Blu-ray discs are usually used to store high-definition movies and television shows because of their high-density data storage.
In the year 1796, scientist Edward Jenner had a brain wave. Based on his observation that victims of cowpox are resistant to smallpox, he created immunity for smallpox. It was against popular convention at that time, but his foresight began the science of vaccination or immunization. The story of immunization is the story of fight against the deadliest diseases of the world. And thanks to vaccines, we have been able to conquer many of them. So how exactly do vaccines work? And more importantly, what are the commonly available vaccines that can save more lives? Well, that is the focus in this report.
The best way to fight an infection is to prevent it. But fighting the invisible pathogens is not the easiest task in this world. Here comes the role of vaccines. The discovery of vaccines has been a game changer for healthcare industry. Extensive immunization programs have wiped off deadly diseases like polio and smallpox from many a country. Today, vaccines are the best defense we have against some of the highly contagious but preventable diseases. Through vaccination, individuals are given very small and safe amounts of pathogens, usually viruses or bacteria that have been weakened or killed. Due to this exposure, the immune system learns to recognize and resist the particular infection later in life. Hence, vaccines teach our body how to defend itself when germs such as viruses or bacteria attack and not become ill. A vaccine can be administered orally, by injection, by puncture, through transdermal or intranasal routes. A vaccine can contain dead or weakened pathogens, or a specific protein, toxin or chemical taken from them, or a synthetic substance similar to these chemicals. Vaccines are available for both children as well as adults. However, lifelong protection from certain deadly diseases require vaccinating infants. Children from birth through 6 years need to be vaccinated for chickenpox, diphtheria, Haemophilus influenza type B, hepatitis A and B, flu, measles, mumps, pertussis, polio, pneumococcal, rotavirus, rubella, tetanus. Vaccines like DTaP combines protection against diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis, while MMR combines protection against measles, mumps and rubella. They are called combination vaccines. They save time and provide multiple immunity at one go. Children between 7 to 18 years also require protection from many serious infections. For this age group, vaccinations are available to prevent diphtheria, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, human papillomavirus, influenza, measles, meningococcal disease, mumps pertussis, that is whooping cough, pneumococcal disease, polio, rubella, that is German measles, tetanus, that is lockjaw, varicella, that is chickenpox. While children invariably require immunization, vaccination may also be required by the adults, especially if a person is traveling to a country with an endemic infection. These include some specific diseases like typhoid, rabies, malaria, polio, and yellow fever. However, developing an effective vaccination is not an easy process. Once a vaccination is developed, it has to go through various rigorous trials to study its implications and thus implying to safety standards before being used clinically. Also, for developing a vaccination, we need to know the genetic makeup of the pathogen. So pathogens which have multiple strains or mutate easily are a huge challenge. Perhaps one day scientists will be able to recognize a common weak spot in all the strains of a pathogen. Till then, we must take the benefits of the available vaccines.
And what are the contributions of science to this week's history? Let us learn in our next segment, History of Science.
We are all familiar with the name Galileo Galilei. Galileo, born on 15 February 1564, invented the telescope that unraveled the mystery of the universe. Galileo, with his telescope, was able to prove that the Earth, along with other planets, revolve around the Sun. The famous astronomer and mathematician Nicholas Copernicus was born on 19 February 1473. Copernicus was the first to state through his book, De Revolutibus Orbium Coelestium, that the Earth finishes one rotation on its axis in a day and takes a year to revolve around the Sun. On 20th February 1873, the first tram trod on the roads of Kolkata. The tram was pulled by 6 horses on a specific track. The first tram journey took place between Armenian Ghat and Sialda. The father of Indian science laboratories, Sri Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar, was born on 21st February 1894. Sri Bhatnagar was the founder and first Director General of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, one of the largest chain of public R&D laboratories in the world. He also was a great contributor to India's space program during its initial days.